As we approach the 78th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima, here are 3 facts that you need to remember. Number 1. The bombings did not stop the war. Japan made repeated attempts to surrender to America from as early as 1944. The only condition before the bombings was that they be allowed to retain the emperor, which the US actually agreed to after receiving unconditional surrender anyway. The US strategic bombing strategy reported that Japan would have surrendered by the end of the year, most probably by the end of October, regardless of whether the bombs were used or not, vindicating the opinions of General Dwight Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, and Admiral Leahy, highest-ranking member of the US military, who both opposed the bombings. To claim that these bombings somehow saved lives goes against historical fact and the opinion of military experts. Number 2. The bombings were not justified. Yes, Japan fought against America in the war. Yes, they committed war crimes, but how dare anyone claim that this justifies the killing of 340,000 men, women, and children who had nothing to do with any of this? Those children did not start the war. Those children did not fight in the war. Do you understand what a nuclear bombing means? Every single person within a half-mile radius of the Hiroshima blast was vaporized. The survivors suffered from nausea, vomiting, bloody diarrhea, and hair loss. Women gave birth to stillborns and children who were doomed for the rest of their lives to have damaged skulls and mental disabilities because of those bombings. How can we call any of this anything except atrocious? To claim that these bombings were in any way justified is not only a great insult to the 340,000 men, women, and children, but it is a dangerous step to the justification of future atrocities and war crimes. Number 3. Condemning Hiroshima and Nagasaki does not mean condoning other war crimes. World War II was a disgraceful war, with war crimes on every single side. We condemn the nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, just as we condemn the Japanese prisoner of war camps, just as we condemn the US firebombing of Japan, just as we condemn the Nazi Holocaust, just as we condemn the Dresden bombings, just as we condemn the bombings against the UK, just as we condemn every single unnecessary and unjust killing in the World War II, and every single unjust and unnecessary war crime in any other war. Let me end on this. It is one thing to deny a disaster and a war crime, as is done with the Nazi Holocaust all too often. But to justify a war crime, to justify an atrocity, to claim that all of this suffering and murder was good, shame on you.